So we just discussed that there's DHT there, potentially where it comes from. You can look into removing it from your life in a way to protect yourself from it, but then you're still left with these miniaturized hairs. So you can, remove the things that are causing this, and you can protect it with the natural DHT inhibitor in a pH alkaline environment, and then you can actually start moving the DHT away. So DHT, it builds up around the hair bulb. It's a very, very gradual constriction. It's not a hardening, so that when you have the DHT, your scalp doesn't feel hard, does it? No. It's still soft, so it's not like a plaque, but I think it's a little bit more like a cholesterol. So one of my team members, she really wants to see what it looks like, and I have never physically seen it, but we know that it's causing this pressure. The longest stand-in treatment to remove the pressure is called Minoxidil. So I've probably known that it works for about 20 years. What it was a blood pressure tablet, so people with high blood pressure would use the Minoxidil tablet to lower their blood pressure, and when they had pattern thinning, they found that these people, some of their hair was regrowing. So the pharmaceutical companies decided to make it into a topical, which is fantastic, but they forgot to block the DHT. So Minoxidil is not about DHT, it's actually about the pressure. So when we teach people how to work with this, you've got to block the DHT with your supplement, and topically, we talk about cleaning the scalp and using the spray, and then you can go in and use a safe formula of Minoxidil. But you've got to be careful with Minoxidil. Okay, they do not recommend to use it if you're trying to fall pregnant, if you are pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, or anything like that. So blood pressure, it is a very important thing with most common formulas of Minoxidil. The formula that we use is called Restim. It's in a base of aloe vera, whereas the most commercially available formulas are in a chemical base of propylene glycol. So we do all the work to clean and prepare so we don't use any harmful chemicals, because chemicals are part of the problem. So it's a long way around, but it's a much safer way of doing it. Now, also, most commercial formulas of Minoxidil, they say, and you may have read this online, once you stop using it, your hair will fall out. And for a lot of people, that's true. But the reason why is they're not doing anything to block the DHT, and the formula they're using is very chemical, and potentially the product they're using to clean the scalp is chemical as well. So again, when you go back to the natural approach and you build into it, you don't use Minoxidil for a long time. You will only use it long enough to chip away at the DHT so your hairs can return to normal. We really give it a good hard work for about 4 months, and then we reduce the treatment. So for you, you could probably only use one bottle. One bottle. So people think this is a lifetime thing, but if you go in with a natural approach and understand the symptoms and the causes, it's a short-term thing. It's also a hair washing regime. So there's nothing different to what you're already currently doing. We just teach you how to do it. We change it up a bit to make it more of a natural approach. The other thing about Minoxidil, as I said, is blood pressure. So you always must check your blood pressure. So I do like to have blood tests, just to check your iron levels, because you said about energy and things like that as well. And we just make sure we know what your blood pressure is. Even though ours is in a base of aloe vera, you can never be too careful with these things. So the formula we use also, you would never ever use it every day. So most of the other formulas are twice a day, every day. No, it's way too much. Every second day at the most. For you, you're washing your hair 3 times a week. Perfect. That is all that we need. So after the 4 months and you see some hairs growing, we might drop it down to 2 times a week, to once a week, and then we basically taper it off. You can stop it altogether if you want to. So we only use it as long as we need to remove the hair back to get your normal hair growth. So it is never a permanent thing. So does that help a little bit?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. I hope everyone understands a little bit more about the DHT, female pattern thinning, male pattern thinning, and Minoxidil as well. We're going to go in and do a little bit more work with some different types of things to do with the hair health check. So